I just have to submit myself to the decision of the commission.
You know, a lot of there would be, I guess it's safe to say there would be people who would think like he should have headed the investigation, or bakit meron kang yun ang tanong bakit meron kang particular na posisyon na hindi miyembro pero special advisor? What makes you a special advisor?
Well, probably because of my experience as an investigator. And I've done when I was in the Philippine National Police, I've done investigation of sensational cases. Mama Sapano, the loss of the 900 plus AK-47 rifles, the Bucor fiasco.
What was the Bucor again? Which
ito
issue was
yung,
that?
this is about the investigation of the anomalies inside the Bucor, wherein drug lords, Chinese drug lords, continue to manage the drug trade in the Philippines despite the fact that they're inside the jail. And of course, the investigation of yung grupo ni former Chief PNP Albayalde.
Right. So, Mayor, just to be clear about this, being tasked or designated rather as special advisor, this will not run in conflict with your job as mayor of Baguio City, sir?
Well, this is a very time-consuming responsibility, but I just simply have to perform both. Kasi nga, sabi nga ng mga kaibigan ko, this is another higher calling. Kaya I took the challenge, and hopefully I'll be able to perform my job as mayor and at the same time my job as special advisor.
I guess what I'm trying to find out, sir, this will not run into conflict, or this is not illegal to the point that somebody might question your designation as special advisor. Is there anything in the rules or in law that would call this designation of yours as unconstitutional or illegal, sir?
Hindi naman. Pinag-aralan mabuti yan ng Office of the President, yung legal group, and I believe they came up with the right solution, the right formula. Kaya sabi ko, ulitin ko, I'm just an advisor.
Okay. All right. Have you met Justice Andres Reyes, Ma'am Rosana Fajardo, and Secretary Babe Singson formally?
Yes, the commission convened for the first time this afternoon after lunch.
How was it?
Good. It was good. Justice Reyes gave his guidance. There was there was an exchange of ideas on how to proceed. Maganda yung na-determine na-establish na framework. Nagpalitan ng mga numero, nagpalitan ng mga ideas. Napakaganda. At I believe Justice Reyes will be able to perform exceedingly well as head of the commission.
When will it begin? How will it begin? How big is the team? Just share with us, sir, what you can.
Well, we're going to hit the ground running. And according to Justice Reyes, there are about 30 personnel that will compose the commission. So, ang instruction sa amin is to really start working immediately as soon as possible. Kasi the President and the people expect results. And we have to deliver results.
And the 30 will be appointed by whom? Meron ho ba kayong tig-6, tig-5? How does that work, sir?
Well, we're now working on an executive director para i-manage yung day-to-day activities ng commission. And I believe si Justice Reyes has a very good idea on organizational development.
Pero may miyembro na, yung 30.
Wala pa, mag-recruit pa lang. Pero on my side, as advisor, I was asked to, I was advised to immediately launch the investigation, gather evidence.
Were you or will you name also people that could form part of the 30-man or women team, sir?
Pwede naman ako mag-suggest.
Meron ka nang naiisip?
Especially sa side ng investigation.
Meron ka nang naiisip, Mayor?
Yeah, meron na.
Would you be able to name this person?
I cannot.
Okay.
For the meantime.
But 1, 2, ilan ho ang inyong naiisip na dapat or would be a good addition or included in this 30-man women team?
For the core group, probably I need about 5 to 6 people.
And you have an idea who this 5 to 6?
Yes,
All
I
right.
do.
And
I did.
okay, we'll leave that for another time. So sabi niyo nga nag-meeting na kayo, you'll hit the ground running. Sir, sa haba, dami ng proyekto, trilyon na pera. Just tell us, where will you start? Is it 2022 to 2025? Is it going to be NCR? Is it going to be Luzon? Visayas? How does it work?
Well, we're starting with the quick wins. Meron na mga binisita ang ating presidente. Yun ang bibigyan namin ng pansin. I've been talking regularly with Secretary Vince Dizon. So meron na siya mga nasuggest na rin. So hanggang doon lang ang pwede kong banggitin.
But if you say kung saan bumisita ang Pangulo, that would be one. What we're showing right now with you in Tuba Benguet, isa po yan, hindi ho ba? Si rock netting mo ito?
Yeah, this is the rock shed.
This is the rock shed.
And then there was also a rock netting project na binisita. There's another area wherein there's a road that was built without consultation with local government. Tawag na namin doon the road that leads to nowhere.
Oo, naalala ko po yun. Oo.
At marami pa, meron pa yung mga, of course, yung mga solar lights,
Katsay.
at flood control.
So, balikan ko lang po. So, sabi mo, uunahin nyo yung mga, tama ho ba, yung mga nabisita na ni Pangulo?
Kasi syempre, meron pa yun especially yung mga
alam naman po
ghost
natin,
project.
Bulacan, definitely. Yun ang inuna niya, hindi ho ba? Okay.
Yeah, nakapag-file na nga ng mga cases kagad si Secretary Vince. Ang bilis nga nun And meron pa tayong mga ipapile pa uli na case in the next, probably in a week time. Tapos, kailangan mabilis Kailangan namin ma-accomplish yung order ng ating presidente.
But apart from where the president has gone and visited, Mayor, how do you decide ano po ang mga susunod? I mean, what is the criteria by which uumpisahan po ninyo? Is it by contractor? Is it by region? Sabi mo nga, it's where the president had visited. What else?
I really wish I can mention this to you, but for the meantime, siguro, I would treat it with confidentiality kasi otherwise, kumbaga, we're opening ourselves to being monitored.
Okay.
Siguro,
Fair enough.
sabihin na lang natin na we were able to identify certain areas where we can already start. At we believe we have some low-lying fruits, quick wins. And we need people to realize na we're capable of delivering our mandate as soon as possible. Kasi yun ang hinihintay ng mga tao
It's good you said that though. Parang kung ano yung obvious, evident, o alam nyo na, doon kayo mag-uumpisa. Basically, that's what you're saying.
Meron na kasi mga lugar talaga nakikita mo na halos konti na lang gagawin mo. Mabuo mo na yung mga ebidensya.
Well, I'll name them. Bulacan is number one, sir. Oriental Mindoro would be the other one kay Governor Dolor, hindi ba?
Meron na yan. Nabisita na lahat yan.
Opo, Baguio, obviously, dahil nagpunta na doon si Pangulo. We had a story earlier, sir, about La Union. Basically, what our reporter, Dobby de Guzman, was saying, tila minamadali na ang konstruksyon ng ilang flood control projects sa La Union. So, I think this is the one. Yeah, I think this is the one we showed a while ago, no? Ang tanong ko kasi dito, Mayor, dahil po sa nangyayari at mangyayaring investigasyon, dahil sa nangyari, na sinabi ng Pangulo, mahiya kayo, dahil sa hearing sa House, dahil sa hearing sa Senado, marami daw ngayong mga kumpanya nagkukumahog na ituloy, ipagpatuloy o tapusin yung kanilang mga flood control projects. Sir, that's one of the things that needs to be discussed. Kailangan maunahan nyo yung mga yan. Yung mga dapat tapos na napabayaan tapos tinutuloy para maging completed.
Yeah, you were right, Vicky. Ganyan nga nangyayari ngayon sa field. Pero marami rin naman kami mga photographs na kung ano itsura niyan. On this particular date. Kaya maski na anong gawin pa nila dyan, malalaman namin kung talagang minamadali o kaya pinagtatakpan nila o kaya kung ano na lang ang pagdodoktor nila dyan sa mga project na yan.
So meron kayong mga resibo na. Would that be very important, Mayor Benji, na picture na lahat itong mga flood control projects para kapag bisitahin muli ay makikita ninyo kung ano yung naging kanilang status prior to? Alright, ganun po. Okay. I know that basically, sir, siguro baka nagtataka yung ilan sa mga nanonood sa atin. Medyo matipid ho kayo sa pananalita. Kayo na ho magsabi kasi you can't
Alam mo
really...
kasi, nasa commission na ako ngayon eh. Kaya kailangan na control na yung mga babanggitin namin at we have our spokesperson. Kaya hindi ko gaanong mabanggit sa iyo kung ano yung how do we approach it, ano yung specific no framework na gagawin namin. Ang importante rito is, masabi ko sa iyo na we have to follow the marching order of the President. We need to produce results.
When can we expect the first batch of results, Mayor Benji?
Anytime soon.
Malapit
Anytime
na.
soon.
Hindi kami maghihintay ng matagal.
Hindi
Ganun
naman.
ho ba yun?
Hindi.
Okay.
Ibig sabihin, syempre magkakaroon pa yan ng, pag-file mo yan ng kaso, kasi ang trabaho naman namin is, investigate and file cases. Wala na kami dun sa after the filing of the case. Hawak na yan ng ombudsman, hawak na yan ng korte. Kaya, hindi na namin control yun. Basta ang importante is, makapag-gather kami ng evidence, develop a very tight case para hindi ito ma-dismiss, and then file it.
Is it going to be televised? Meron ho bang, sabi mo may spokesperson, number one, sino po ito? Number two, papaano ho namin malalaman ang update hinggil sa ginagawa niyong investigasyon?
Well, regularly magkakaroon naman. Right now, meron pang pinag-uusapan pa nila ng members ng commission kung sino yung magiging spokesperson.
Okay.
At the same time, pati yung how regular would be the update to the public. We have to inform the public regularly. Sila, no? And at the same time, magkakaroon din ng media hour. And, so that maging transparent.
Surely you understand, Mayor, that there's a lot of interest in this dahil ang tagal din po ng hinintay ng publiko dito po sa Independent Commission for Infrastructure or ICI. Finally, 4 of you have named, 3 have been named, actually 4 rather, of course, you as a special advisor. Ang tanong kasi talaga is, invested ang tao, pinapanood ang House, pinapanood ho ang Senado, pero ito, mukhang hindi namin mapapanood, no? Just to be very clear about it.
Well, alam mo, mataas ang expectation ng tao dito sa ICI, kaya we cannot fail them. Kaya nga, ang taas ng pressure sa amin eh. And talagang kailangan namin mag-deliver. Kaya we cannot afford to fail. Kaya talagang kami kaagad eh. Kakayod talaga kami ng kakayod talaga. Minsan, we have to sacrifice my job as mayor just to produce result. Kaya I'm now briefing my own team, my management team sa Baguio City. And I might be forced to designate the vice mayor as the officer in charge muna. Because for the next several weeks talagang kailangan todo field work lahat to. Daming field work na gagawin.
How challenging is it for you?
It's very challenging kasi very limited yung personnel mo. That's the reason why I just came from the Philippine National Police. I spoke with the chief PNP. And then after that, I have to visit the head of the NBI, the Judge Santiago, para makiusap din at makahingi rin ng tulong sa kanila.
Anong pakiusap at anong tulong po ang kailangan ninyo from the PNP, the NBI?
Well, we need investigators in the field. Help us gather information. Yun naman ang trabaho namin eh. Iba kasi ang trabaho ng lawyers eh. Ibang trabaho ng investigators. Investigators require skills. It's about gathering evidence. May technique yan, may tradecraft yan, may talent, may skill. Iba naman yung trabaho ng lawyers. Lawyers is to see to it that yung mga ebidensya na nakolekta, pwede na to. This will hold in court. Pwede na tayo mag-file ng kaso. Yun ang gagawin ng lawyers natin.
And were you getting very good feedback from the Chief PNP? Ganun ho ba? And sabi mo nga, bibisitahin mo din si NBI Chief Santiago?
All-out support ng Chief PNP.
Apo.
In fact, nag-meeting kami kanina. Nandun na rin yung mga concerned officers, concerned generals, and they provided they committed to provide all the necessary support. And I believe that would be the same with the National Bureau of Investigation. Alam mo, I've worked with the NBI before. And I have good network and very supportive naman si Judge Jimmy Santiago. Kaya hindi kami magkakaproblema.
We're going to take a very short break. We'll continue our discussion with Baguio City Mayor Benji Magalong when we return. Mayor Benjamin Magalong. Mayor, timeline. Mahirap,
Yes.
alam ko, kakaumpisa pa lang, pero dahil nga madami ang nakatutok din dito, meron ho ba kayong timeline na tinitingnan na dapat matapos ito? And how far back do you go? Because what the report I got was from the last 10 years. Would that be correct, sir?
Yeah, probably. Siguro, umpisa muna namin yung mga current contemporary issues muna siguro. And then after that, saka kami magbabacktrack. Kaya kung tatanungin mo sa akin yung timeline, ako, matagal ito. Matagalan na investigation to. But regularly, meron kami pa-file. Siguro, kailangan talaga mabilis ang trabaho dito, mabilis ang investigation, gathering of information para maya-maya meron kami pinafile. Pero kung tatanungin mo, kailan matatapos? Nako, yung nag-investigate kami noong 2014 when the former president, President Noynoy, designated me as the lead investigator for the NIA anomaly. Talagang isang case pa nga lang, inabot kami ng more than 2 months. And we were really surprised. No? Pag-akala namin, isang lugar lang. And then finally, we were flooded with a lot of information and nationwide. Kaya talagang kami na, kumbaga, we were really surprised and we were overwhelmed with a lot of information and pieces of evidence.
And while you're at it, sir, is there a way for the public na magsumbong po dito sa commission?
Yes. Meron tayong, marami tayong site ngayon na available, government website. First is yung isumbong mo sa Pangulo. Isa yon, napakaganda yon na platform. We have another, yung Mayors for Good Governance. Nagka-open lang namin about 3 days or 4 days ago. And then there's another one, yung DPWH naman, because now that we have Secretary Vince at the head, rest assured na yung mga sumbong ninyo ay action ng kagad ni
Sa
Secretary
tatlo po
Vince.
yun. Ulitin natin, Mayors for Good Governance, pwede magsumbong doon, DPWH pwede magsumbong doon, and sa sumbong sa Pangulo.
Yes.
Sana pwede rin, sir, no, na makulate sa isang website na lang, pero baka mag-crash sa dami ng sumbong.
Oo naman. Pero there's a way of consolidating all of this. Pero naman may paraan.
Magalong's independence, sir, that needs to be asked. While some laud your inclusion in the ICU, meron din pong nagtatanong regarding your independence because you are labeled to be a Duterte ally. Are you?
I understand their concern. No? I understand their concern. Dahil nga, nagtrabaho kay President Duterte and he appreciated my work, my performance. Does that make me an ally? Parang ganun ba? Di ba tayo nabigyan tayo ng mandate na mag-perform tayo and do a lot of extra miles when we perform our task. Kung in the same manner na during the time of President Noynoy, ganun din. Nagustuhan din nila yung mga trabaho ko. Ganun din dito kay President BBM. So, alam mo, every president has his own legacy. At tayo naman as a soldier, we simply follow orders and perform our task with the best of our ability. Kaya nagtataka ako bakit ile-label na lang ako na ganyan. But nonetheless, alam mo, malaki ang itulong sa akin ni President Duterte. In the same manner na ganun din yung naitulong sa akin ni President Pinoy. Alam mo, nakulong pa nga ako And then it was during the time of President Noynoy na naka-recover ako. Pinomote niya ako ng 1-star, 2-star. But then here comes the Mama Soprano incident. And I simply have to do what is right. Seek out the truth. That was my mandate. That was my responsibility and I did that. Kaya ganun ba yun? Hindi ko na maisasacrifice yung aking integrity, yung aming credibility.
So how would you describe yourself? You would work with any administration that seeks your help without to the best of your ability, kung sino
Yes.
man yung administration or Pangulo.
Oo naman. Kaya hindi tayo pwedeng sabihin na we only favor this o kaya may dito sa investigation na to may bibigyan natin na certain entitlement, privileges o kaya eto sacred cow to. Hindi naman pwede yun. Narinig mo naman yung sinabi ng ating presidente na dapat walang may privilege dito. this will be performed, sa akin, from my personal perspective, this should be performed without fear or favor.
Yun nga. Just that this statement made by former Senator Antonio Trillanes sa Expo, aabangan ko si Mayor Magalong kung i-advise niya sa Independent Commission ng may pinakamalaking anomalya sa infra funds gaya ng 51 billion flood control sa distrito ni Pulong at 36 billion ng rock netting sa Baguio Benguet na siya mismo ang nagreklamo. Sir, care to reply to that?
Alam mo, nagtataka nga ako, bakit siya biglang nag-iingay tungkol dyan. Unang-una, advisor lang ako. Siyempre, I submit myself to the decision of the commission. Second is, siguro magmula pa noong 2019, maingay na ako dyan sa issue ng rock netting na yan. At tuloy-tuloy hanggang ngayon. Nire-raise ko lang yan. Pero during that time, ano naman ang ability ko na mag-investigate? Mayor ako. Wala naman na tao na mag-investigate. Now that I'm having this, I have this authority now, then kasama lahat yan sa infrastructure namin, sa investigation namin sa lahat ng infrastructure project. Kasama naman yan sa mandate ng ICI. Kaya ako, iniintindi ko na lang siya. Siguro meron lang pinagdadaanan.
Siguro yung tanong doon, Mayor, there would be two sides here. Siyempre, you would have the people who would ask, will they investigate those close to BBM? Or even the cousin of BBM? Will they investigate Speaker Martin? Will they investigate Zaldico? And then there's another side who will say, will you investigate Duterte allies? Will you investigate the son, si Congressman Pulong? Would you investigate Senator Bongo dahil yung kanyang tatay ay meron din construction company? I think doon po yung dalawang posibleng magbanggaan na mga tanong.
Sabi ko nga just watch us. Just watch us. And nag-usap naman kami ng kanina, very clear naman na kailangan no stone left unturned dito. We have to perform our mandate.
So talagang handa ho kayo, kahit na sino. Siguro ang tanong, handa ho kayong imbestigahan kahit na sinong tao na posibleng naging malapit sa inyo or nakatulong po sa inyo. Kahit po yon kaya niyong banggain.
My track record would state I do what is right. Look at what happened sa Mama Sapan. Ganon din yung 900 na rifles wherein we have 5 generals. Marami dyan, mga upper class ko pa. Very close to me, under class ko. Pero I simply have to do what is right.
Mayor Benji, if the House invites you to their hearing, ang sabi po ni Congressman Redon, magpapatuloy po siya either late this week or early next week. Tinanong ko siya kasi, have you invited Mayor Benji Magalong? You weren't named yet as special advisor ng ICI. Sabi niya hindi pa dahil dalawang bagay daw. Wala ka naman daw personal knowledge at number 2, panay daw ang siguro pagtira mo sa kanila bilang mga mambabatas. Let's listen to a statement or part of that interview with Congressman Terry Redon.
Ang binabanggit ko, I don't think he has actual personal knowledge dito po sa mga pinag-uusapan sa Bulacan, no? So, very important po yun kasi kailangan ho talaga yung pong witness, meron ho siyang masasabi doon sa mga particular na mga detalyeng pinag-uusapan po dito. And more importantly, and I think even up until the last couple of days, talaga maraming sinasabi din si Mayor Magalong tungkol sa integrity ho ng komite. Parang tinatawag niya ng anti-moral pejorative yung ating pong komite. Pangalawa, tinatawag ho tayo na nagmamaang-maangan. Pangatlo, tinatawag ho tayo na mga kriminal. Hindi naman ho niya distrito yung pong Benguet, no? Iba ho yung may distrito doon. So, we will have to decide as a committee kung relevant ho ba yung testimony niya kung sakali.
Reaction to what Congressman Terry Redon said.
Invite na lang niya ako. Magkita na lang kami doon.
Pag inimbita ho kayo, pupunta pa kayo?
Definitely. Definitely, I'm prepared. And in fact, ang tagal ko na nga hinihintay lagi na nga nila ako hinahamon Sabi nga nila sa akin, I'll be placed under oath. I have to mention this.
Name names.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I've always been ready.
Mayor, why do you think they're still not inviting you? Do you think, tanggap mo ho ba yung sinasabing wala ka naman talagang personal knowledge at number two, medyo may mga sinasabi kang masasakit tungkol sa kanila, nagmamaang-maangan sila o kriminal sila?
Sabi ko nga, invite na lang nila ako. Alam mo, ako naniniwala ko na maraming maayos dyan. Maraming maayos dyan sa Kamara. Kaya lang marami ding nagmamaang-maangan lang. Nagkukunwaring wala silang kaalam-alam. Pero sa totoo lang, alam naman nila kung sino yung mga may katiwalian among the ranks. Kaya lang, for some reason, I really do not know why they keep on covering them up. So, makita na lang kami sa Kamara.
So you will show up once they invite you. Sir, what about star witnesses? How important would it be to have a star witness or some star witnesses in this investigation that may lead to filing cases? I ask that, sir, because in the Senate hearing, ang kanilang gustong maging star witness sana bago napalitan po si Senator Marcoleta as Blue Ribbon Chairman was the Diskaya couple.
Yeah.
Tanungin mo naman po si Senate President Tito Soto at si SOJ Boying Remulla, marami daw kailangan munang intindihin, ayusin, aralin, imbestigahan bago sila gawing star witness. Para po sa inyo, sa inyong narinig lang, ka-star witness ho ba ang Diskaya couple?
Well, tama yung sinabi ni SOJ at ni Senator Soto. Kailangan evaluate muna. Will he qualify? Although, kung binabanggit nga natin, most least most guilty.
Oh, kasi ang weird nun, sinasabing hindi least guilty.
It's
Dapat,
less.
Hindi siya the most guilty.
Yes.
Which I actually, I don't really
Not
understand.
the most guilty.
Not the most guilty. Okay.
Not the most guilty.
So are they potential? Could they be potential?
Well,
potential?
from a general interpretation of that, they can qualify. Pero marami pa, kailangan evaluate mo talaga eh. Talaga bang sila lang ang witnesses? Baka marami pa darating eh. Maganda rin na isipin na they can be state witness kasi marami silang alam, Pero meron talagang proseso yan eh. At very tedious yung process before you can really qualify.
But without identifying, I'm just interested to know, kayo ba meron na kayo nakikitang posibleng star witness without identifying the person, sir?
Meron ako nakikita na mga a few na it's just a matter of convincing them at kausapin sila, siyempre. Establish communication with them. Marami.
Okay, we're running out of time.
Flood control projects.
Yeah, of course we want to help. We want to do our part. Sa totoo, natutuwa nga kami kasi presidente na mismo yung tumitingin eh. So alam naman natin ng katotohanan, pag presidente ang tumingin, lahat titingin na rin. Lahat pagtutuunan na ito ng pansin. So kami rin, gusto naming tumulong sa pamamagitan ng investigation. Of course, within our area of responsibility. So ngayon, actually ito, hinanda namin yung Freedom of Information or FOI request para sa DPWH. Maya-maya, makikita nyo na siya sa eFOI platform. Tapos papadala din namin syempre yung hard copy. Hihingi kami sa DPWH ng mga program of work. And it's a list of around 21 documents. Pero yung isa sa importante dito yung program of works, yung bill of quantities, para makita namin kung ano ba talaga yung dapat na sa project. Ano ba talaga yung nandun. Kasi ito nakita namin sa sumbong sa Pangulo website. Sa totoo, wala naman kaming complete list ng mga proyekto na flood control. Hindi lang flood control, kahit anong infrastructure projects, wala kaming complete list. Minsan nagko-coordinate sa amin pag kailangan ng tulong para sa right-of-way o para sa relocation ng informal settlers or other residents for that matter. Pero pag hindi nila kailangan doon, hindi naman talaga madalas, hindi naman lagi, pero madalas hindi talaga nagko-coordinate. Wala kaming complete list. So with the list we found through the sumbong sa Pangulo website, now we're requesting for all of the information so that we can check. Not to find fault, hindi kami naghahanap ng mali, hindi kami maghahanap ng mali, pero tingnan natin kung tama o mali ba yung nandun. Kung may kulang, o baka naman kumpleto, di okay lang. Kung may kulang, at least magkaalaman po tayo, malaman natin. Kasi sa ibang lugar, nakita natin may mga kulang, may substandard, yung haba ng bakal, kalahati, etc. Diba? Nakita naman natin sa balita. So, again, we want to do our part and help investigate, if it will help, para malaman natin yung katotohanan.
Do you see that as a loophole in the law? The fact na yung national projects hindi kino-coordinate sa LGU?
Well, we're hoping that after all of this, one of the things that will come out of all of it is that there will be better coordination from national government agencies and local government units with the local government units. Kasi makakatulong naman po kami. Makakatulong kami to monitor. Ang nangyayari kasi minsan, magugulat na lang kami, ay may project pala. Tapos pag nakita namin, kunyari may title, slope protection, etc. Kung naman title ng project. Okay, may project, nakita namin may ginagawa. Paano namin mag-gauge kung tama, kung kulang, sobra, or sakto lang yung ginagawa? Wala kaming paraan para malaman. Ang dami palang controversy, ang dami palang problema.
May push ngayon na i-include yung LGU sa approval ng lahat ng projects before it goes up to the national. But some critics are saying na it's another layer to the bureaucracy and another layer na potentially may be corrupted by ill actors.
Totoo yan. Of course, as much as possible, we don't want to add additional layers to the bureaucracy. But at the same time, when we talk about things, for instance, like roads, flood protection, flood control programs, hindi naman pwede na hindi alam ng LGU. Kasi minsan, halimbawa, may simple drainage. May gagawin ng isang grupo, tatamaan yung existing project, or minsan may existing or may proposed project kami, naglaan na kami ng pondo, yun pala may project din ng national.
Duplication.
So, masasayang yung pondo namin. It's not necessarily about corruption. It's also about efficiency. It's about proper planning. It's about proper coordination in order to deliver services better. So again, in the instance of, or in the example of flood control projects, as simple as drainage that might be proposed by either the national or the local government or even the barangay. Sometimes they have their own projects. So, hindi naman pwedeng ganun na magkakanya-kanya tayo. Kailangan magtulungan talaga.
In an ideal setup, if you have a good government,
Excuse me, sorry.
then that kind of system works. Pero it's a reality na not all local government units are trustworthy, at least in the Philippines. How do you insulate the system from being another layer ng corruption in this entire mess?
I think that's a separate problem. It's a real problem, it's a valid problem, but it's separate. We have to talk about first, proper coordination, proper planning, and then the next question is how do we prevent the corruption? Kasi tama ka naman, the more layers there are, the more people are consulted, the more offices are necessary for approval, then there are more opportunities for corruption. Baka mamaya kasama na yung LGU sa sinasabing SOP or pass-through, di ba? Baka mamaya, imbis na makatulong, imbis na mapaganda, mapasama pa, even if the intention is good. So, I don't know all the answers, but I do know that in order to prevent corruption, there must be people who are caught. Ibig sabihin, kailangan may managot sa previous acts of corruption. Kung sa palagay ng lahat ng nasa gobyerno, ay napakababa naman ng tsansa na mahuli. Kung gagawa ako ng ganito, maybe there's a 0.0001% chance that I will get caught. What will deter me? Diba, sabi nga sa pag pinag-aaralan ng corruption and combating corruption, ang laging sinasabi ng mga eksperto, it's not about the length of the sentence, it's not about what laws you have, it's about the certainty of being caught. Yun yung pinaka-importante sa laban kontra korupsyon, na may nahuhuli, may napaparusahan, may napapanagot ang pamahalaan at ang taong bayan. So, really, the focus should be now, in my opinion, the focus should be on how do we improve, how do we strengthen the institutions of justice for better accountability, for greater accountability in government.
Gaano ka vulnerable yung local government officials when it comes to these corrupt practices sa pagtatayo ng infrastructure, particularly flood control projects?
Open secret naman sa gobyerno eh. You know, I know, everyone in government knows the practices. Nakakalungkot, di ba? Sa ibang larangan, pag sinabing SOP, ito yung mga standard nila sa trabaho. Standard operating procedure, if you're an engineer, you're a accountant, whatever your profession is, may mga SOPs kayo sa trabaho na pag ito yung trabaho, may step A, step B, step C. Nakakalungkot na pag ginamit yung term sa gobyerno, kadalasan ang tinutukoy ay korupsyon. Automatic, standard na yung kickbacks. Of course, as we've seen with the presentations of Senator Ping Lacson, I've heard Mayor Benji Magalong talking about it quite a bit as well. The SOP may differ, the rates may differ per LGU or per agency, but the fact remains that it's an open secret in government. So if you're asking me how vulnerable, then the answer is it's systemic, if not endemic, and that's really the problem. The problem isn't that there are a few bad eggs. The problem isn't that you have one or two bad Filipinos. The problem is that the problem is systemic, if not endemic already. Kailangan talaga may drastic na mangyari dito. And I think, at least I hope we're in the right direction now.
Let's cite certain anecdotes. What do people tell you? Paano inaalok? Paano ino-offeran? Ano yung particular schemes that you've seen or heard of, at least here in Pasig?
Nung bago ako, nung bago akong mayor ng 2019, lalo nung paupo pa lang ako, marami nagkwento sa akin, ito yung ginagawa dati. Ang mahirap din talaga dito sa laban kontra korupsyon, ang hirap maghanap ng ebidensya. Yun talaga yung number one. Kasi wala naman na amin. Pangalawa, wala naman yung paper trail. Kung tatanggap ka ng lagay, tatanggap ka ng kickback, SOP, di mo naman i-receive eh. Di ba? Wala naman na, uy, si ganito, Governor X or Congressman Y, Mayor A, tumanggap ng gantong ilang milyong piso. Wala naman ebidensya eh. It's all done most likely all in cash. Puro salita lang yan. Walang written documents yan. Ang hirap hulihin. So, again, going back to my story from 2019, dami nagkwento sa akin sa infra, at least 30% yan. Tapos, nung bagong upo ako, must have been within the first quarter, for first 100 days, definitely, no, bagong mayor ako. May mga punta sa opisina. So, in-entertain ko a group of maybe 10, 20, or 30 people. So, kinausap siya, ano pong maitutulong ko sa inyo? Sila daw yung mga matatagal ng contractor sa City Hall. Ito, inakwento ko naman to in public dati pa. So, sabi ko, ano pong, may problema po ba? O ano? Kasi dati, ganito yung kalakaran. Without using the word kalakaran. Sabi nila, ito yung ginagawa dati. Pag may listahan o may budget, tinatanong kami ano yung magandang gawin na project, o tinatanong kami kung ano yung gusto namin gawin na infra project. Tapos, syempre may SOP, ganyan. They're very open about it. So, ginawa ko na lang malinaw. Sabi ko, from now on, while I'm here, wala tayong pag-uusapan na SOP. Wala rin tayong pag-uusapan na diploma system or whatever they used to call it. Basta, kung ano yung tamang proseso sa batas, sumunod kayo, mag-bid kayo kung kayong lowest qualified, rin sunod sa 9184, RA 9184, di mananalo kayo. Ganun lang kasimple. So,
diploma system?
Parang binibigay lang na ganun yung kontrata. Basically, I don't know the details, pero yun yung kinakwento sa akin kahit mga political leaders barangay captains, minsan kagawad pag malakas. So kung yan, may listahan ng projects, ito sa ito, parang ganun daw yun.
Sinong nagbibigay po? City official or contractor or middleman?
Ayon sa kwento nila, yung mayor mismo.
Bibigay talaga. Kunyari, to life for you.
Hindi naman siguro literal na.
Dito ka bibigyan ka ng
yun yung pag-describe nila sa akin noon. Again, kwento lang to. Pero yun nga, babalik tayo sa problema. Ang hirap niyang patunayan. Kahit sabihin, dapat kasuhan natin to, panagutin natin. Saan tayo mag-uumpisa? Kahit yung pera mismo, nagastos na yun. Wala na yun. So, again, what's important is that we build stronger institutions, number one. Number two, we have to, kailangan maging nakakadiri yung korupsyon. Kailangan hindi siya maging katanggap-tanggap. I think, unfortunately, through the years, that's really what's happened. It's become accepted. Naging katanggap-tanggap siya sa atin lahat. And I think all of us are guilty here. I think and I think that's the first step if we want to fix this. Kailangan aminin natin na at some level all of us are guilty here. Hindi ibig sabihin may natanggap tayo. Pero ibig sabihin at some point hinayaan natin na pumayag tayo na naging perception natin or thinking natin na hindi, ganyan talaga. Pag politiko, talagang yayaman yan. Pagka mayor na, talagang yayaman yan. Ganun talaga. Parang naging accepted siya kahit magtanong tayo sa ordinaryong tao, mag-random survey ka, tanungin mo siguro, ang politiko ba yung mayaman? Karamihan sasabihin, oo naging accepted I think that's the first step. We have to challenge that thinking, challenge that system, challenge that culture. Basagin natin yun. And the first, again, isa sa unang kailangan gawin, pag-usapan natin.
Hot topic now online is yung mga vloggers, social media influencers, content creators na nagfa-flaunt ng wealth nila and then apparently connected pala sila sa isang contractor. Do you think that should be frowned upon? Or at least, should we build a mindset na kapag nakita tayo ng, wow, sobrang yaman, dapat ba may instant instinct na tayong ma-develop na saan mo nagaling?
Hirap kasi wala naman masama maging mayaman kung galing yan sa maayos na paraan, kung pinaghirapan yan. Kung pinaghirapan mo o pinaghirapan ng pamilya mo yan, wala naman masama. Of course, as public officials, we have a code of ethics. Ostentatious display of wealth is also not good regardless of the source. Pero siguro yung mga nakita talaga natin na connected sa contractor, sila naman nag-post nun online, di ba? So, bigyan natin sila ng atensyon kung gusto nila.
Pero as you mentioned, medyo accepted na nga na instead na i-question kung saan galing to.
Parang tama ka doon. Talagang yun nga I think that's one proof malakas na ebidensya na yun na naging katanggap-tanggap siya, parang hinahangaan pa natin. I guess everything that's happening now for the better. I think it's all for the better. Papaisip na tayo ngayon, di ba? Pag may nakita na tayo, pinagmamalaki yung travels, luxury cars, nasa yate nagpa-party, gano'n. At least, ngayon, papaisip tayo. Papaisip na tayo. Kasi ako marami naman akong kakilalang mayayaman, may malalaking negosyo, pero hindi naman ganun. Kahit mga siguro pabilyonaryo na, hindi mo naman ma-afford yung ganun without mentioning specifics, yung mga ibang nakikita natin even on social media, parang imposible unless hindi pinaghirapan siguro.
And branding it as aspirational.
Yun nga. Sabi nga, dati ang usong mga kwento from rags to riches. Ngayon daw, ang uso ng kwento from rubs to riches. Medyo nakakalungkot. Pero kailangan nga, pansinin natin yung mga ganong kwento, yung mga ganong pagkakataon. Gawin natin siyang hindi normal at gawin natin siyang hindi nakaka-inspire.
Mayor, another scheme na kwento mo in passing on social media is yung mga may set ng calling cards. Tapos mamimili ka. Tell us more about that.
Isang tao lang naman yun, di ba?
Pero scheme in general.
No.
Di mo sure kung siya lang yung ganun. Baka may iba hindi natin alam ganun. Then,
Yung nagpakita sa akin nung mga calling cards na yun, yung source ko ng calling cards na yun, siya mismo nagbigay nun. Ibig sabihin, si Sir Curly mismo yung nagbigay nun sa kanya. Allegedly, inaalok daw siya ng projects, kung anong gusto, tapos alam niyo na kung ano yung susunod dun.
bakit may set ng calling cards na dapat pagbigyan?
Lahat kasi yun, mga AAA or quadruple A. I'm not sure if all, but most of them would be AAA. A number of them are quadruple A. So may mga pick-up lines. Kompleto yan. Malalaki na yung mga NFCC and SLCC nila. So, kompleto yan. So, kumbaga, may mili ka na lang siguro doon kung ano yung gusto mo.
Mayor, for the common Filipino na hindi...
Hindi, siguro, ganito na lang siguro. So, sorry for interrupting. Yung mga nangyayari, mga nakikita natin ngayon, marami dyan talagang papel-papel na lang eh. So, to comply with the law, they have all the necessary documents and paperwork. So, they have the quadruple A rating, they have the necessary SLCC, the NFCC. Ibig sabihin, may mga kontrata na sila na malaki dati, so they're qualified for bigger ones. Ibig sabihin, sapat yung credit line nila sa bangko, or again, yung NFCC. Ang ibig ko lang sabihin, without becoming too technical, kompleto yung dokumento nila, minsan, yun lang talaga yung binibigay nila in exchange for a sum. So again, it varies. Pero madalas, ito yung naririnig natin na sa totoo, hindi sila yung gumagawa.
Pahiram resibo?
Pinapahiram lang yung resibo in exchange for what they call royalties or a percentage of the total. Na sa totoo, sobrang lantaran na pagka nakausap mo ibang chief executive sa ibang lugar, ibang congressman, they've become so open about it. Of course, not to the media, not to the public, but hindi ko nga masabing inner circle eh. Pero pag narinig mo yung ibang mga kwento minsan, parang may isa recently, narinig ako, inalok daw siya, thankfully ito hindi tinanggap, pero may isa, inalok daw siya 40% advance. Kaya daw kahit anong project, basta sa kanila daw bibigay 40% advance in cash. Kahit wala pang notice of award, bibigay na daw yung 40%.
Saan so, pupunta yung 60?
May ko alam, siguro sa project. Or baka may ibang, siyempre may mga ibang hatian pa nga yan, di ba? So, kaya yung mga nababalitaan natin ngayon na less than half, yung sinasabi ni Senator Lacson ngayon, na less than half na lang yan napupunta sa madalas, less than half na lang ng contract cost yung napupunta talaga sa project. Totoo talaga eh. Kasi doon pa lang sa mga naririnig natin kwento, ganun na 40% advance pa lang.
Mayor, aside, nung first term niyo dito, ano pa yung ibang sinasabi nila sa inyo na ganun kasi yung kalakaran?
Yun lang naman mostly yung kanina sabi ko kanina, yun na naman, wala na naman.
Sila yung magde-determine ano yung project. Kasi ngayon ang pinag-uusapan in the House is the insertions. Level ba meron ding insertions when it comes to the city budget?
Ibang-iba ang budgeting ng LGU saka national, sa GAA. Ibang-iba yun. I don't think you can... There's corruption in both, but it's a very different process.
Sa LGU, paano would you know kung merong ways kung paano nagkakaroon ng insertions even on the councilor level?
I've never heard of, at least dito,
Paano nyo
even before I was mayor. Hindi siya, I don't think it's applicable. Just the process, if you study the process. Kasi sa national level, may NEP muna yung executive, di ba? Tapos submit sa House.
You also have a menu of projects, of your priority projects. How do you
Yes, we have an annual investment program. Pero yun, lahat-lahat nandun. Kahit yung mga hindi magagawa pa, nandun na lahat yun. So yun yung pinaka-menu. And then from that, mapapasa yung appropriations or budget ordinance. Yun lang yun. Hindi siya kasing yung proseso hindi kasing tedious ng sa national government. So it's really just not comparable. Ibang-iba talaga yung process.
Kasi I've heard in other districts, in other cities, in other municipalities, maybe here in Pasig it's like that, but I've heard na in other areas, may say yung congressman sa kung ano yung funding ng city, hiwalay pa yung sa funding ng national. Here, it doesn't happen based on your kwento.
Pwede naman makialam. Hindi siya nangyayari. Pero siguro yung sinasabi mo, baka nakikialam lang. Iba naman yun. Pero hindi yun kasama sa proseso talaga. Hindi yun kagaya ng sinasabing insertion sa... Well, I've never been a congressman. Diba? Pero yun nga, yung mga sa nababalitaan natin, mga nakakausap din na iba. Again, it's very... Baka malito pa yung tao sa tanong mo eh. Sorry, baka malito yung tao sa tanong mo kasi it's really a different process.
How do you then insulate? Kasi sinasabi nila, good governance here in Pasig City. How do you insulate the bureaucracy from corrupt practices?
Well, number one is strengthening institutions. For instance, sa procurement, gumawa kami ng bagong opisina, yung Procurement Management Office. We hired professionals. We hired a lot of new people who, were aligned with what we wanted to do, with clean, good governance. So, malaki naman yung napagtagumpayan na. Pero yung pinakamalaki talaga dyan, hindi tatanggap yung mayor. I mean,
It boils down to electing the right official?
Maybe as a start. But again, when you talk about strengthening institutions, it's involving civil society, including them in the process. Nasa batas naman to eh. Pero depende kung gagawin mo talaga o hindi. Capacity building of these procurement observers, civil society organizations who will observe the procurement process. Tinuturuan namin sila ano yung mga red flags. Para sa susunod, pag natapos na yung term ko, iba na yung mayor, hopefully, pagpatuloy. Pero in case na hindi, kung sa 2031, 2034, 2037, biglang iba yung direction ng mayor, at the very least, may papalag na, uy, dati naka-live yung bidding nyo, ba't ngayon hindi na? Or dati, reported lahat, pwede kami kumuha ng gantong dokumento, bakit ngayon hindi na? Dati, pwede kami mag-attend ng ganto, ba't ngayon bawal na? So, at the very least, di ba? There's no 100% foolproof safeguard. Wala naman ganun kahit saan sa mundo. But, in line with strengthening institutions, you're also raising the expectations of the people. So, as you raise expectations of the people, na ito na yung inaasahan nila sa gobyerno, sa hinaharap, mas mahirap nang i-reverse yun. Mas mahirap nang baguhin yun. So again, it's not 100% safeguard. Walang ganun.
Yan ang Banateros, walang inuurungan. Pag tama palakpakan, pag mali ay babanatan. Yan ang Banateros, boses ng ordinaryong Pilipino. Banateros ay walang makakaawan. Walang inuurungan, Banateros ay tinutulungan.